Hi! Indian cinema has a way of telling stories that are universally compelling, combining music, dance and drama in a way that resonates with audiences worldwide. Would you believe if I told you that Steven Spielberg said that? Sometimes I wondered if we truly celebrate our cinema and our culture. Happy Ganesh Chaturthi. We do it every week on our show, Now Showing. I'm Atika Farooqui. Let's begin the show with the highlights. Kareena Kapoor finds a footing in Hansal Mehta's realistic cinema, The Buckingham Murders. It is both thrilling and thought-provoking. Fardeen Khan's comeback has been nothing short of explosive. He talks about his second innings in Bollywood with his film Visfot with Ritesh Deshmukh. Ananya Panday discusses her transformation in the series Call Me Bae. It's an explosive conversation about youth and youngsters. And let's start the show now showing with this week's film that is released in cinema halls, that is The Buckingham Murders. Well, directed by Hansal Mehta, it unites three unlikely collaborators. Kareena Kapoor, known for her mainstream stardom, realistic director Hansal Mehta and Ekta Kapoor, the queen of television dramas. This partnership results in a slow burn crime thriller that eschews typical genre conventions in favor of an emotionally rich, restrained narrative. The film, while not a conventional whodunit, explores the trauma of grief, the complexities of racial tensions and the immigrant experience in Britain, all while centering around a murder investigation. The story follows Jasmeet Jas Bhamra, played by Kareena Kapoor Khan, a former London police officer grappling with the loss of her young son, who was killed in a tragic shooting. Unable to cope with her grief while continuing her demanding job in the city, Jas takes a demotion and relocates to a quieter town. But her pursuit of peace is interrupted when she is assigned the case of a missing Indian boy. What starts as a straightforward investigation soon spirals into a murder case, pulling Jas into a tangled web of secrets, racial conflicts and drug-related crime. As Jas investigates, she encounters the boy's parents, Daljit, played by Ranveer Brar, and Preeti Kohli, played by Prableen Sandhu, whose marriage is on the verge of collapse. Her superior, Hardik Hadi Patel, played by Ash Tandon, also seems to be hiding something. Though the investigation appears to reach a conclusion with the arrest of a suspect, Saqib Chaudhary, played by Kapil Redekar, Jas suspects that there are deeper layers to the case, which point toward more sinister conspiracies within the community. Hansal Mehta's direction is marked by his trademark realism, using the murder investigation as a vehicle to explore broader societal issues. The film digs into themes of racial tension, anti-LGBTQ sentiments, drug abuse and economic hardship, all of which shape the experiences of the town's immigrant residents. Mehta paints a grim portrait of life in the UK for minorities, highlighting the fractures that run through seemingly peaceful communities. However, while these themes enrich the story, they at times overshadow the murder investigation itself. The mystery, which serves as the film's backbone, lacks the depth and complexity necessary to maintain suspense throughout. The Sikh-Muslim divide, central to the film's plot, is depicted in a rather direct, heavy-handed manner with repeated references to gurudwaras as mosques. A more nuanced approach might have allowed for a subtler exploration of the town's tensions, though. Kareena Kapoor delivers one of her most subdued and powerful performances in The Buckingham Murders. Stepping far from the glamour of her Bollywood persona, she embodies Jas with quiet intensity, making her grief palpable through subtle expressions and silence. Her portrayal of her mother, haunted by loss, anchors the film emotionally. In scenes where Jas reflects on her own trauma while solving the case, Kareena's performance is nothing short of transformative, proving her versatility as an actress. The supporting cast adds depth to the story as well. Ranveer Brar is compelling as Daljit Kohli, a man devastated by personal losses, while Prableen Sandhu brings quiet strength to her role as Preeti Kohli. Ash Tandon as Hardy and Kapil Redekar as Saqib Chaudhary both give layered performances that help build the film's atmosphere of mystery and tension. The technical aspects of The Buckingham Murders elevate its storytelling. Emma Dalesman's cinematography perfectly captures the bleak, isolated atmosphere of Buckinghamshire, reflecting the film's somber tone. The muted color palette, designed by Mehta and editor Amitesh Mukherjee, amplifies the mood of desolation and uncertainty. Karan Kulkarni's understated score is haunting, subtly accentuating the film's themes of loss and isolation without overwhelming the narrative. While The Buckingham Murders excels in its emotional depth and social commentary, it falls short in delivering the suspense typical of a gripping crime thriller. The plot lacks the twists and turns that could elevate it beyond a straightforward investigation. Audiences expecting a fast-paced narrative with shocking reveals may find the film slow burn, pacing underwhelming. Instead, Mehta chooses to focus on character development, crafting a film that prioritizes human emotion over the mechanics of crime solving. The Buckingham Murders is not a typical crime thriller, but rather a meditation on grief, trauma and the immigrant experiences. While the film's focus on social issues sometimes overpowers the central mystery, its atmospheric direction and emotional depth make it a compelling watch for fans of slow burn narratives. Though its appeal may be niche, it stands out for its subtlety and its quiet exploration of deeply human experiences. And now let's talk about Fardeen Khan, the son of the legendary Feroz Khan. And we still remember his song, Hum Tumhe Chahte Hain Se. Imagine taking a 14-year break, like 14-year break? Yeah. Most would have given up hope of a comeback. Now 50, Fardeen Khan has made an explosive return, a truly Visfot comeback. The remake of the Venezuelan film Rock, Paper, Scissors, Visfot, recently premiered on Jio Cinema. This was to mark his return, but fate had other plans. Khan ended his hiatus with Sanjay Leela Bhansali's Heera Mandi, where he plays a Nawab, and he was also seen in Khel Khel Mein with Akshay Kumar. From Janasheen to Visfot, it's been a roller coaster ride for the uber cool Khan. I caught up with him for a fun-filled conversation, and along with us was Sanjay Gupta, the producer of Visfot, who's supposed to be master of technically well-shot films. This is quite a conversation. Hi. So मैं एक ऐसी फैमिली से आती हूँ जहाँ खून, खानदान और तालीम इंसान की पहले पूछी जाती है. But 20 years ago, when I came into the film industry, I couldn't relate to too many people. But a few families I would love and I would meet them again and again were that of Dilip Kumar Saab, Mr. Bachchan, कादर खान साहब, तलत अजीज़ साहब, जगजीत सिंह, ख़याम साहब. उनके ख़यालात नए होते हैं मगर अंदाज़ वही पुराना पसंद करते हैं. And I like that. एक साहब थे जिनका नाम था फ़िरोज़ खान and he was called the Clint Eastwood of the East. एक दो बार मुलाकात हुई मगर तफसील से बात नहीं हो पाई. आज उनके बेटे हाथ लगे हैं. So now I'll have all those conversations I couldn't have with him as his film Visfot releases. Hi Fardeen.
Hi Atika.
Hi Sanjay.
Hi, hello.
Listen, I must tell you that there is something about you, Fardeen, that the world can't be harsh upon you. You come back and we still embrace you. Then you go back. Then you again come back. Then your fans and your well-wishers again embrace you. कुछ तो है जो ऊपर वाले का आपके साथ है, isn't it?
Start with, I'm extremely grateful for the support and love I've received from the fans who've followed me over the years in spite of being away. And it's followed on to the release of Heera Mandi and the release of Khel Khel Mein. And now they're very excited with the trailer of Visfot. So ups and downs, you know, you have challenges, you have obstacles, you have failures, you have learning, you have successes. You know, that's just life. I think that's just how it works.
You also many generations in the industry, or are you the first one?
My father was a professional snooker player.
Wow.
Really?
Yeah. He was. He held the title for about 13 years, and before that, he was a state captain for in UP for football. And he did produce 2 films which were way before I was even in school. It was a film called Parwana. With Mr. Bachchan in it, which years later was made as Johnny Gaddar. And the second film he did was also with Mr. Bachchan. It was called Manzil. And the big claim to fame is Rim Jim Gire Sawan.
Rim Jim Gire Sawan. So, Mr. Feroz Khan was popularly known as FK. If he was in the house and your friends called you FK, he would take offense.
It's happened once. It was one of my friends, FK. And I knew he was referring to me. Obviously, wouldn't call my father FK. My father was a little away, but he heard. He just turned around and said, "There is only one FK."
I love it.
So that chapter was
closed.
closed.
You said it like him. You even said it like, say that again.
There is only one FK. I can't now. But that chapter was closed very quickly, right there and there.
Oh,
it was very established. He's often attributed to projecting the Hindi film protagonist at the time in a very Western way and bringing that sensibility.
Yeah, the leather boots and the hats and.
Yes, so that's something he's often credited with.
Yeah, I want to see him as a daku.
Huh?
Kode pe. Banduk leke.
With a gun.
Mera gaon, mera desh. With a good double barrel and a belt.
Gupta ji picture flop ho jayegi.
What
was your first shot, Fardeen?
In Prem Agar, of course, an action sequence where it was me and Sameer Malhotra, a karate fight sequence where we were sparring against each other. So that is what we started with, something fun, and my dad wanted a certain authenticity, so he says, "I want contact." So he was kicking me right here on my ribs, and I was kicking him. And at the end of the day, we were like, "Man, can you just keep a little softer?" And there were ice packs going on, and so yeah, like, mummy actor banna hai. And my father was not just a taskmaster, but his own experience. He started off as an action star, the B-grade action movies of the time, and that was his starting. So he had it tough.
What was his first film? Do you remember?
As a hero was reporter Raju. Tarzan Comes to India was something he was proud about. It was his first Hollywood film as a supporting actor.
About your mother, like your relationship with her, and how does she keep herself busy? We know that she was with Air India for a long time.
She worked with Air India as an air hostess for about 9 years while she and my father were dating. They were living together at the time, which was also rare for the time.
They were living in together.
Yeah, they lived in together for many years. Then once she got married, of course, she got pregnant and she resigned. She resigned from Air India. Travel was such a luxury in those days, and to see the world. And, she tells me stories. So she's been posted in Russia, in Moscow, and she was posted in London. So she was really proud that she got to take her mother abroad for the first time to Russia. She worked to support her family, to support herself, and now she's still working.
Wow.
After she and my dad split, she got into fashion. She launched her own label, a huge inspiration even as a working parent. And she's resilient and she had a very deep, profound influence on my life. And I look up to her.
We've often had that discussion in the industry that technically, like when you see an action scene, who's the master of it? Sanjay Gupta.
Your technique is basically, it's like a handwriting. Now, either you have it or you don't. It's good or, and so many times, even if I'm posting a picture on Twitter or, something, and my, like Milap and my other friends, they'll say, always message back. He's saying, even over here, you're using such a good angle. So it's just a part of me.
Visfot mein aise scenes dekhne ko milenge?
Bilkul hai. Cookie's done a fantastic job. Cookie and my the DOP Shikhar Bhatnagar, this is his second film. The two of them together, they've created a world, they've created a Mumbai, which is, you see the two sides to Mumbai. There's a very rich, polished, clean Mumbai, and then we have the underbelly, which is your Dharavi and Dongri. These two have gone and created this world, and it was very important for these worlds to be distinct because of the way they collide. There is an upmarket pilot and there is an Uber driver from Dongri who are not supposed to ever get into, maybe he'll give him a ride, but their lives are never meant to collide.
So Shootout at Lokhndwala, jis par bani thi Mr. A.A. Khan, I was friends with their family. He passed away. But again, I'm paying a compliment to you कि अगर उनकी life पे कोई कुछ बना सकता था, and अगर कोई producer सोचे कि कौन बना सकता है, Sanjay Gupta.
So Khan साहब ने जब ATS form किया था और कैसे किया था, so that is something that I've shown in Shootout at Lokhandwala. Recently, my production manager from many years came and met me, and he said, "Sir, I've met this group of people who are very keen to meet you."
Oh.
So I said, "Who are these guys?" And all these guys, Fardeen, these are the officers of the ATS who have all retired, and they formed a company and they want to tell their story. So they said that if he comes forward, so we want to tell,
Oh, please, make that.
how they did the encounters,
Yeah.
what was each person's contribution. The only thing is that, and they've sent me the drafts also. Only thing is that they were anti-terrorist squad. So and that time was early 80s,
At
was
its
only the
peak.
Punjab terrorism. That is the Khalistani stuff which was happening in and around Bombay. And that is also, but more on the outskirts of Bombay. So it's wonderful. I mean, I've been interacting with them also. Khan Sahib is somebody, I mean, I've known beyond Lokhandwala, and, I always wanted to do something about his life. When I started researching on Shootout at Lokhandwala, basically 1992 is when it happened.
Yeah.
In 2002, I was on some flight, and the Caravan magazine was there, and usme likha tha 10 years to the shootout of Lokhandwala, and there was an article. And what really struck me was they had two close-ups. There was a close-up of A. Khan, and there was a close-up of Dawood Ibrahim. And
Both
they looked
had the-
identical.
Yeah,
Really.
actually, yeah.
They had the same face cut, they had the same mustache,
Yeah.
the same aviators, the same hairstyle.
Yeah.
For a moment I was taken aback, and then when I flipped the page, was this photograph where I said, this I have to do.
Yeah.
Was a picture of Khan Sahab walking in that Swati compound. There were bodies lying around. And this guy's shirt was open, he was not in uniform.
Yeah.
His shirt was open, he was wearing a vest inside, and the gun was tucked to it. And the aviators.
And
on
no
it.
bulletproof jacket. Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah.
So, I mean, there's certain images that kind of stay with you.
Yeah,
you know?
yeah. Don't say bae just yet. We are heading for a short break. We have a special conversation after that with Call Me Bae actor Ananya Panday and the entire star cast of this flamboyant, cute and a very engaging show on Prime Video. Welcome back to Now Showing. I'm Atika Farooqui. It's no crime to be born with privilege, but you still have to prove yourself. Daughter of 90s actor Chunky Pandey, Ananya Panday showed promise in her debut film Student of the Year 2. She followed this with acclaimed performances in Pati Patni Aur Wo and Gehraiyan. Panday quickly made her mark in the OTT space with Ye Kahan Aa Gaye Hum and now Karan Johar's series Call Me Bae. For someone born into privilege, what's it like to lose it all in a moment? This unique riches to rags story has been quite the talk of the town. I had the privilege of speaking with Ananya and the entire cast about this show, youthful experiences, youngsters, what all is going on in their world. Tune in. Our universe is based on youth, youngsters. Here are a few quick pointers that I would like all of us to quickly talk about, and there are 25 of them. So here I go. What is the meaning of bae?
Before anyone else.
Yeah.
But
Like really?
Yeah.
No, but it's a pet name because her name is actually Bella, which means beautiful. And but her parents, but then the people close to her who love her, and she goes by Bae. It's a pet
Because
name.
in Delhi, if somebody says call me bae,
No,
they
that's
call me
It's all like,
call me bae.
But I think
I hope I didn't sound too uncool when I said
no,
that.
you sounded so cool. Yeah, it was so cool.
I think it's a clever, it's also because in Indian context,
Yeah.
it's Bae.
Yeah.
And with Bae, we can make so many puns. No? You can say Bewakoof,
Yeah.
Besharam,
Besharam,
Bewafa.
Behaya,
So
Bewafa,
exactly.
lots of bays.
So
Yeah.
call me whatever you want.
Yeah, okay, right. Anybody from Delhi here?
Yeah, somewhat.
Yeah, so you would know what is
Yeah,
bae.
yeah, yeah.
Great. Okay, do you think social media is making full-fledged careers?
Yeah.
Yes.
Absolutely. Yes.
Do you think social media is also putting pressures on our daily lives?
Yeah.
Absolutely.
Absolutely.
What was the
I feel like we should have FN.
Yeah.
what was the average age on the sets of this show?
Oh, it
She
was
was the
very,
youngest.
She's the youngest.
Yeah.
and I was the oldest. So you can imagine, that is the spectrum.
And
you're 28,
you've
right?
directed. I mean, you've been an assistant director at some really nice
27,
Yes.
28.
movies like PK and talk about the Talash
Yes,
and
I've worked with
Sanju.
some
Kapoor
brilliant
and
directors. I worked with Raju sir on PK and Sanju. I've worked with Reema Kakti on Talash, with Rakesh sir on Bhag Milka Bhag. And finally, my last film as an assistant director was Sanju.
Wow.
And then I transitioned to directing.
amazing, yeah, amazing. What are the perks of being an actor?
You get to be a different character every project.
Nice. You, Niharika?
No, yeah, you get to do make believe and be in a lot of scenarios. Like recently, I had to be on a crime scene and investigate a body that had been murdered, and I was just like, I love this right now. So,
Ananya?
I also feel like the fact that you can impact people's lives.
Right.
You know, people
Yeah.
you stay with people.
I think it's just you get to experience so much more life on someone else's payroll.
Yeah, Karan's payroll here.
There's very intense work for short amounts of time, and then there's long periods of just by yourself and back to working very intensely, and then learning horse riding and
Yeah.
all God knows what.
What is the one thing that youth must know about life?
it can change anytime.
Yes.
It costs a lot of money.
Yes.
I think to savor it because youth is not coming back.
Wonderful.
Even I was going to say YOLO, like you actually only live once.
You
Like,
only
so
live
just, you're
once.
not going to be this young ever.
Wonderful.
It's not going to be easy, but it'll be worth it.
Wonderful.
I think every day is an adventure.
We're giving very Instagram captions.
Gurfateh?
Don't take it so seriously, that's all.
Yeah.
Ah, that's also true. What's your average daily screen time on your mobile?
2 hours.
Ananya,
Mine's going to be like a lot.
Mine's
4
check. 4 hours.
4
to
hours.
look at.
Even I'm scared.
I'm ashamed to say something between 4 and 7.
Oh, mine's 3 hours.
2 hours.
4 or 5.
4.
Yeah.
3, 4.
3
3
mine's 3. I
hours.
just
I'm scared to look honestly.
It depends how much.
Next to बढ़ जाएगा.
But on an average 3 hours, guys.
Yeah.
Watch out, yeah? How important are good clothes for the younger generation?
I think not that important. I think you need to be comfortable
Yeah.
whatever you're wearing.
A good soul is that matters, not good clothes.
Yeah?
Agreed. Yeah.
Depends what you're going for. Is it a first? I mean,
I
is it
think
a-
they're being very
Yeah,
diplomatic. I think it's very important.
Is it a date? Is it a job interview? If you're going for a job interview, dress well.
No, but I just want to
Dress
say
for
that
the
like
occasion.
Yeah,
I think
Dress for the occasion.
I think good clothes should also be defined by you, by
And your
what you
personal
like,
style. Yeah.
because like trends and fads. I mean, like something might make you feel really uncomfortable, and you may not like agree with it.
We've heard of rags to riches. This is the first time we are hearing of riches to rags. Do you know of someone who's had that trajectory?
Yeah.
But they're not in the country anymore.
Tell me who, tell me who, tell me who.
I mean, in my building suddenly, like when I was a child, there were these two children who suddenly came from like a mansion into like a flat because of certain circumstances, and it was like crazy being their friend and seeing what they were dealing with. They had like a entire blow up palace, like you know, like a balloon palace that they didn't know where to keep in their 3 bedrooms. So it was like, yeah.
Wow. What's the proportion of your savings versus earnings?
Oh my God.
Saving is 95%.
Really?
100, yeah.
Yeah.
95%.
I feel like
Yeah, I
save
save a
lot.
lot.
I don't need to spend on anything.
I'm Chunky Pandey's daughter. I save a lot.
I know.
What do you mean? He's a good saver.
That's interesting. What about you,
Yeah, you
Gurfateh?
can say that.
I save more than I spend. Oh,
For sure.
yeah, more than I spend.
शादी एक बार हो सकती है या बार बार?
एक बार for me.
एक ही बार
नहीं
हो जाए तो
बार
बहुत
बार
है।
हो सकती है बिल्कुल I think ये
Depends on the
स्टिग्मा हटा देना
circumstance.
चाहिए
I think for me
अगर
एक
शादी
बार
करना
हो.
हो तो कर लो मतलब।
पर मेरे लिए सिर्फ एक बार हो.
एक
Because
बार.
see, for my personal life, I would want to get married once, but to each their own.
But I'm saying divorce if you're unhappy yaar, and marry when you're in love.
Cool. That's the sample that we are creating.
चाहेंगे कि एक ही बार हो.
वरना दूसरी
वरना
बार.
अगर if I'm not happy, then बार-बार हो सकती है.
What do you
But
think?
sometimes you have to like fight it out.
No, you fight it out.
मैं तो
अगर
अकेले
fight it
बताऊँ
out के
apparently तो
चक्कर में भी कुछ नहीं
मैं मेरी
होगा.
शादी नहीं होगी शायद।
क्या? क्यों?
Stop it.
The intention is once.
Yeah.
It
Yeah.
depends on the life circumstances
Yes.
and
Yeah.
what happens after that.
So we see that the world is changing now. Okay.
She voted for me.
How
Like
would you
the guys-
describe Karan Johar as a producer?
Top.
We'd ask
Best.
this director.
Generous.
one line.
Generous.
One line.
Fashionable.
Involved.
Wonderful.
I don't know. I don't know. I mean, yeah, no, just
Yeah.
like I guess
Iconic.
liberal.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Star of the show.
Very warm.
Greatest of all time.
What's the best thing to gift a 21-year-old today?
A book. I was going to say a book. Yeah. A book.
Money.
Take their phone.
Yeah. Take their phone, give them a
Buy
book.
a book. Take their phone. Give
I
them
think a family holiday.
Family holiday, yes. You?
Something to do with taking their phone away and giving them something non-digital.
Yeah.
Okay. If you were to choose between these three, what would be the order? Money, fame, security.
Security,
Money,
fame.
Money, fame, security.
That's okay. What did the protagonist learn at the end of this drama?
I think she found herself.
Whoa.
Whoa.
She didn't change despite everything that
Comes
hit
her way.
her. Yeah, everything that
in
came
her
her
life.
way. Yeah.
That's nice. Okay. Do you buy your own groceries?
Yes.
Yes.
Blinkit. Swiggy, Blinkit, yeah.
Yeah?
It's
Ananya?
very
But
convenient
it's
now.
much nicer to go out and buy.
Yeah.
Ananya, do you buy your own groceries?
Yeah.
Guy.
Why do you want everyone to hear my answer? No, but I'm very involved in like what's coming home. I buy my dog's food.
What is the most boring thing you do?
I clean my room a lot.
Okay. Okay.
I think being by myself on the phone is quite boring.
I'm very good at like threading, waxing and all. I don't know if that's boring, but like, you know.
Deep
Yourself.
dives, like
It's not.
like sickeningly deep dives on
Okay.
Wikipedia.
Okay.
I think being alone and like after a point in time, like when the phone gets me, when the scrolling gets
That's
me,
boring,
it's
yes.
just
Then
like,
you get a reel that says stop scrolling. This is your sign. You're like, oh god.
So when you're free and not shooting, call me Bae.
Thank you. Have fun.
So call me Bae. You know, if privilege alone guaranteed success, there would be millions of success stories to tell daily. But that's not how it works. Young Ananya Panday has earned her place and serves as an inspiration to all. We hope you find inspiration in our show. I'm Atika Farooqui saying goodbye to you with the promise that we meet again next week. Happy festive season. Enjoy.